I don't even know what's happening.
With what fucking hand? I have like.
It's just we're very pale.
Well, I understand we're very pale, and I'm trying to adjust the lighting, but I'm also holding a
Jen looks
very.
like a ghost.
I know.
It's not the light. It's called you're fucking pale.
Not as pale as this.
Well, I think it's just the light. Go drop the garage door a quarter of the way.
I think earlier maybe because I saw your light boxes were shining up, and they're supposed to be shining down at a 45. But then you're wearing a hat though, so that makes it kind of difficult. Then you get the shadow like we get.
That's the problem is when it
I know
points down, you get the shadow on the face. Plus, you get the shadow behind me. Which could really screw up the
green screen.
The whole green screen, because I'm actually all right. That's good right there. Because what happens is with the green screen, like where my fat ass is, I'm covering up some of the dead zone. There's like a bad shadow coming from the natural light hitting the A3 air purifier by the Rabbit A3.
Yeah, I tell you, when we did that commercial for Abe at Smoke Inn, we had a hell of a time with that green screen. We had lights on the ground shining up. I
have them all over the place because what ends up happening is we were saying earlier is you're going to get a shadow somewhere. If the green cloth is not 100% flat, you'll get ripples.
Then
if you have too much light, you freaking look pasty, which sucks. So I think what it needs is. I remember watching this on a tutorial, and you're supposed to have obviously each corner and one dead center. The one dead center is supposed to be angled up higher, so you get a room filled natural light.
Yeah.
The other two lights really help kind of cross section the way it hits you, and I don't know.
Yeah, when I build the bar for the lounge, I want to put LEDs. Like right here and turn them down so they're shining up, so we stop getting the shadow on our face, because right now obviously the lights are directly above us and you can see the shadow.
Yeah, but your lighting is good though. It's warm.
Yeah,
it's not like us. We always look like we're like
powder.
So those big lights are not adjusted. They're just white lights. Are not adjustable, warm and light.
There was the
cheap version.
As when we talk to people and not criticize them, Jess, about how to create a perfect a good and better environment for your show. This was something Jennifer got me. It was like an $80 kit.
Criticize.
Yeah.
Huh?
Who did I criticize?
No. You always blasting Kevin and I for criticizing people, and like people can't afford it. And I was saying, like, this is not like this setup with adjustable lighting and different settings and warm and this and that. It was just basically light boxes and
Yeah, I'll tell you, sometimes those ring lights, those work good too.
That's what I have.
Because you could set it to like a warmer setting.
We're doing that. It does help, but the problem is that we do have the ring light, and it does work because there's 3 different light settings, and then you can actually higher or lower.
Yeah.
And it does work. The problem is getting all the other fucked up lighting to try and adjust it. Because, like, look, if you look at yourself on the TV, on the TV, I feel very country with this thing.
Show us what you have in your hand. What is that?
Which hand? But you look good in that color there.
Yeah.
This is the original El Viajante box, and my future brother-in-law and wife actually have a friend that had this made.
That's amazing.
And it's electric.
It's an electric guitar.
How cool is that?
So as you can see, it has the pickups that were put in it. It's got the neck. It's a 3-string guitar. I did learn how to tune the 3-string guitar online. Apparently, this is a thing. Cigar box guitars, actually bands. They actually play songs and they play in bands with this.
Oh, yeah. That guy you said that guy wasn't there at Ybor this year. The guy that was playing last year. There was a
guy that plays.
Or 2 years ago. Yeah.
So show him the little amp.
But I could see how this is. This could be done.
Show him the amp.
I'm getting there. Fucking. God, I was
Well,
filled
you
with.
showed him the guitar before you start playing. You show him that little baby amp.
I'm going to. I've had enough Jersey today. Okay.
Trust me, it was a lot. It was even a lot.
I don't need any more.
Well,
That is
Yeah, that's
tiny.
cool.
Battery
That is
operated.
cool. How cool is
But
that?
it actually has distortion where you can like, you know. First you're gonna dip, then you're gonna smash. First you're gonna dip, then you're gonna smash.
Oh my
What's
God.
funny is my brother had no idea that Kerr played the guitar.
Oh,
He just
really?
thought it was,
Oh.
yeah, no clue. When I said, "Oh my God, Kerr's gonna love it," and my brother
Only
Sean's
10 years later.
like, "Oh,
Oh, he
yeah,
plays
it is
guitar?
really cool." I said, "No, Kerr plays guitar. Like, we got him a good one for Father's Day
Could
with
you
an
put that
amp."
over there,
Pay
please, and make sure it's
attention.
flat?
So he brought the amp and everything, not
Oh,
knowing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
We're
would he
gonna have
electric?
we're gonna have
Yeah.
a slide made that looks like a barber pole cigar.
Oh, why would he? If he didn't know you played, why go through all the trouble of electrifying it? If he
They
thought it was
just-
Because
just,
it's cooler.
His, I guess their friend makes them this way. And they thought it looked really cool, and you know,
Oh, okay.
and I'm very surprised that your brother didn't know I played the guitar, but
I'm not surprised.
and I really don't play the guitar. I play around.
All
But
Right.
I'm not surprised at all.
I don't know. It was very odd hearing that he didn't know I played the guitar. I was like, okay,
I don't know why you're surprised, but
it's because we've been together 10 years.
yeah, and you know my family, so
That's true. Fucking day. Wow.
yeah.
That's all I can say.
Past like
Wow.
36 hours.
Oh my goodness.
so they drove all the way down just for that, or what were they in town for?
They're going to Myrtle Beach on Tuesday. They have a drivable RV and they towed their Jeep. So they're in a campground about 2 miles from us.
Oh, okay.
There's an RV park, so they're there. And then they haven't seen us in about 3 years, which also includes my father. So they wanted to come down, and then they're going to Myrtle Beach on actually more North Myrtle area on Tuesday for the rest of the week to golf and whatever.
Yeah, they're golfers.
All right, so was this? I missed it. Was this your sister or your brother?
My brother,
Your brother. Okay.
the one that looks really tiny.
Yeah. Tiny
That's my
man.
bro- That's my brother.
feel
Yeah.
Very tight, man.
I feel so bad for them little men. God. It's
Joe
like-
Towers.
I
over
feel
him. He's-
worse when I'm
I-
standing next to him.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you just want to like? Is there anything I can do? Do you need something off the top shelf? What is it?
Well,
You
he
need-
was. It was
need
funny.
me
he
to lift
was
something
cooking-
for you? You
He
know
was-
what is?
Well, it gets better. So he was cooking, sauteing some vegetables at our stove, and I was showing him like, well, this cabinet has all our spices. You have stuff here, and I said I have a variety of oils and different things above the stove, and he couldn't reach. I said, "Do you want the step stool that Killian uses?"
No, you didn't say that. I was in the other room. I
Oh.
hear you go, Sean, it's up there. You know, Killian's step stool's right over there if you need it.
Yeah, I was in this nice.
It was not as
So my
nice.
dad just walks over, who's 6'2", and just grabs and says, "Here."
Ah,
When are you going to New Jersey?
The week of, I guess it's probably the third week in June. So we're gonna be at Carrie's dad's house for Father's Day weekend. Then we're gonna do not Myrtle Beach, Wildwood that Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, there's my brother.
Oh, yeah.
He's 4 years older than me. Do Wildwood for 3 days. Then we're gonna go to North Jersey for 2.5, and then hopefully meet up with Lars on the way back because we
Oh,
actually
nice.
go through Allentown when we leave my mother's house. So we'll have to contact him. So we'll do, since my mom's turning 75 and we haven't seen her in 3 years either because of COVID. We'll go up there and, happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And go back.
I love it that we can not see people because of COVID. Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Stupid COVID. You know.
Can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah, you can. COVID. I've been sitting
you
in my
can.
house for
New variant.
3 months. COVID.
Yeah.
No.
What have you been doing, Kevin? COVID.
I don't know. The last time we had a house full of people, Carrie and I got COVID 2 days later. So
Yeah.
If anybody wondered why I stayed in the garage this
We'll
time,
see.
I was like,
We'll see how
fuck,
it
I am
goes.
not getting fucking sick like
Yeah.
that again. No, thank
Yeah.
you. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
So
What
it was
you guys
good,
want to do the
intro.
Oh
intro?
yeah. I'm Bully Kevin.
Bully Jess.
I'm Bully Kerr,
I'm Bully Jen.
and we are the
Broadleaf
Broadleaf
Bullies.
Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We're the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
All right, so we're going to start it off. I want your opinion, since you're both in the medical field per se. The conviction of per se. I mean, you don't leave the house, Kerr. I mean, technically, I guess you're in the medical field. Redonda Vaughn. What do you think of her conviction?
Oh, the nurse.
The nurse.
Well, I only read. I don't know if you've read the article. I only read the article
about it.
There's a couple. There's not. They always leave parts of it out. Yes, medication misadministrations happen. I get that. It's a little odd because it says she made multiple mistakes that day. So what was the surrounding thing around it? It was also odd about because she gave a paralytic instead of Versed because he was having an MRI and he wasn't able to do it on his own, which is perfectly common. The help he didn't get, like there should have been help immediately, like, because if you're getting sedated, you're hooked up to everything. So there's I felt a lot of pieces missing from it. I don't know if on court TV they actually have like the trial to watch, but I just felt like I wasn't getting the complete story. So it's hard to tell that. Was it truly a horrific error because she's overworked and, issues, but because they kept saying in the article, she made multiple mistakes that day. So was this the first mistake and then there was more to follow? Was it, I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't know. Have you about the nurse who was convicted, found guilty, killed a patient because she was going to give him Versed for an MRI. And when she typed it into the med machine, it didn't come up because it wasn't in there. So she did an override, which nurses do because sometimes it's misspelled. She did an override, opened up one thing. It was a paralytic. It wasn't Versed. Injected, gave it to the patient. Patient died. But she had multiple issues that day that they're talking about, but they're not saying what.
Well, you need the whole story to that. I mean,
exactly.
Mistakes are going to be made, and I just know that it too from seeing it. One of my good friends from back in Pittsburgh, his wife was a pharmacist at the hospital, and she would catch errors daily that if she didn't catch them, it would cause serious injury or death.
Wow.
Whether a medication is mistakenly typed in the wrong way, or the medication's name is closely related to another name, or they didn't look to see if the person was on a medication where there was a serious drug interaction, or if there was an issue with the person being allergic to a drug. It happens, and it can happen, and
it happened to me with Wyatt. I've gotten medication that was someone else's medication for Wyatt.
Yeah.
And it was like, this isn't my kid. They got to read stuff and made sure, to look at it. And then also they gave him medicine that was cut with something that he's allergic to, and it was documented.
Well, that's the other thing. That happens. I mean, then you also get into this. I'm not going to go off the rails too much, but then you get into these generics, right? And generics are not properly, they're same compound, right, for the active ingredient. But when they do the filler for the pills and everything, companies can use different fillers and stuff. And I remember years ago, there was a company, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but they were doing a lot of generics for antibiotics and also benzodiazepines. And I think they're using the same filler, and it was causing a lot of people to get sick. And I've had a lot of doctors tell me about that. So that shit happens, but I don't know enough about this case to weigh in on it.
I just because they're in the medical field.
Oh,
Yeah, I just didn't know if they. I know Amber was following it, so
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that they found her guilty is interesting.
well,
you know?
especially the degree of guilt. Like I didn't read it
Yeah.
that it's been an incredibly crazy week.
negligent
work.
homicide or whatever
Yeah,
it was,
it's just
or
it wasn't
Seems
like
appropriate if someone dies and you.
Well, it
fuck
is,
up.
but
It's not
I've
intended.
seen
It's not like
I've seen lesser charges. It's just they really didn't get into detail in the articles of what happened that day or events leading up to it.
to be charged with that though. There has to be more to the story
Yeah.
or a pattern.
and there are doctors that are coming out the more to the story, and like I said, the machine was on the fritz, so they had that was one of the reasons why they had to override. That hospital wasn't using the scanners, I guess, to scan the
barcoders. But the problem is you can't have a barcoder in MRI. It has to be MRI compatible. So there's certain things that you have to do outside of MRI because once there's zones for MRI because of the magnet.
Right.
So you have different colors. And once you get into the MRI area, like even their crash cart is completely different because you can't have any metal in there. You have to have like a different O2 tank because
no metal.
No metal.
No ferrous metal, correct? You can have metal like aluminum.
Correct. You can have not ferrous because you can go in and have a titanium hip and be fine.
Ferrous metal.
Yeah.
That is true.
Thank you for the clarification, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, shit happens. I mean, it's not intentional. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there who do really bad intentional shit. There's freaking, we watched Dr. Death, where the guy was just a freaking drug addict and then
have you guys seen that yet?
No.
Just
excellent,
openly negligent and just killed people and caused them, lifelong
orthopedic surgeon down in Texas,
pain and paralysis and. The series gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it was like that. There's gruesome of watching and knowing this really happened in real life.
And hospital systems and universities that knew what he was doing and just distancing themselves because they didn't want to be liable and wouldn't freaking really give specifics on the shit that he was doing when they knew what he was doing. I mean, there's freaking doctors out there that freaking illegally bill insurance companies just to make a freaking dollar.
The Medicaid fraud.
It happens, man. They freaking they bill dead people. They overbill freaking services that occur.
Crazy.
It's cray.
I've had other physicians that were illegally write prescriptions. Literally one doctor got busted. It was in Harrisburg. He was like freaking taking samples of testosterone gel and would keep it and then sell it out of the trunk of his car.
What the hell?
Doctors writing prescriptions to different people and family members, but freaking using it themselves or selling it.
See, today that's called a side hustle. Gotta have a side hustle.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Let me grab some testosterone gel and sell it out of.
Well, it was a lot of that gel was. Well, a lot of that gel was, and the patches, were big. It was testosterone replacement, but it's still fucking testosterone. If you're
like for gym guys.
Well, his name doesn't have to be Jim. It could be any other name. But it's like if Kevin came in and he was diagnosed and they showed that he had low testosterone or whatever, they would put him on testosterone replacement therapy, like to do estrogen replacement therapy.
Oh, okay.
But if you are a gym rat and you want to get you can increase your testosterone. It's the same thing. Oh. So they had gels. The company I worked for had a patch that went on the back, and the competitive speech or the competitive one-liner was, one on the back is better than two on the sack, because the competitor had 2 testosterone patches that you had to put on your testicles.
Oh, jeez.
So they'd say, "Hey, Doc, remember one on the
stick? Like, do you have to shave?
Remember, Doc, one on the back instead of 2 on the sack."
Well, it will probably stick. Yeah. It will stick to.
It's like an ad for the razor at that point.
Well, it's like it's the same thing like with the fentanyl patch.
It disintegrates.
It's no, it's on the patch. It doesn't disintegrate.
Lickable.
You can lick it if you want. You can freaking lick it while it's on the sack.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. The tagline was, Doc, remember, 1 on the back instead of 2 on the sack.
Oh, jeez.
Interesting.
So
The things you learn on the Broadleaf Bullies.
Yes, the things you learned.
I can go deeper.
We're educational.
I got shit to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
Kevin's sitting there going, oh boy. Gonna edit this one up pretty good.
Yeah.
So I know, Jess, you said you didn't want to get into the blind 5 because Jennifer is not a cigar smoker. We didn't want to alienate her.
What's
Magazine.
I think it's.
But I'm like, but fuck,
to be separate from this.
I don't really care.
I'm
off
look on
Tuesday.
Facebook.
So, did Kevin not tell you that?
I don't recall.
We're not doing anything Tuesday.
You got to understand something. Today, we just went through the whole thing that you're not involved in this.
Well, I'm saying, though, you would ask me, like, do I have any plans Tuesday? The answer is,
well, that's because I found out
no.
a half an hour ago I'm going to a diner tomorrow at 6:30 I was unaware of.
Well, we are. We're going out with the family for dinner one last time.
Got in a conversation. Jen's like, what am I going to do with all this salad? I'll give it to everybody tomorrow after the diner. I'm like,
so we're not doing the show tomorrow?
Well,
oh shit! So you're not going to the diner. I am.
I was getting to that point. Thank you.
Why didn't you say it earlier? He forgot, Kevin.
I did not
he
forget.
All about. Yes, you did.
Listen,
He forgot about.
It's okay if Kerr misses because
it's not okay.
It's not.
I bought a cigar for him to smoke on the show.
Listen, I've been dealing with
for it.
Fucking people interrupting me all day. I've been surrounded by motherfucking Jersey interrupters today. Okay, so my tolerance is low, very low, to the point when her brother interrupted me today when I was talking to my niece. I went, Sean. He goes, what? I go, I'm not done with my fucking sentence. Just wait.
I'll text Nona and say 1 less for dinner. It's okay. Do your show. I'll bring you home something to eat.
Thank you. I wanted to bring it up tonight on the show and talk about it.
That was more important than telling me
what
earlier.
It was a fucking half an hour ago.
What cigar did you get? Because were you out of the ones I sent you? The Cordoba Morales, Cameroon?
No, you thought it was something else.
I ordered what I wanted to do.
Freaking quivering for you.
I don't know. I was winding up. So I thought it would be nice for when you guys do a show that he smokes the cigar of whoever the guest is. And it bothers me if he doesn't have it. Because we don't have them all here. Just let me finish.
Okay.
So what I did a couple weeks ago was I asked for the guest for the next couple weeks. And I went online and found that person's cigars, which I have to say was not as easy as I thought it would be. It was pretty freaking difficult for the majority of them, either being sold out or I just couldn't find them. So I did buy one for this guest. I have no clue whether you had some or not, but I was determined to get at least the next 4 guests cigars. That's how we got the Nicotina for Warp last week.
Okay. Yeah, you can always reach out to me, Jen. I'll let you know. We're, always 3, 4, 5 weeks out. If you want to know. So, yeah.
Well, I need the next clip after whatever 4 you gave me. I don't know what they were.
Okay.
If you said them, I would know.
No, Kevin, when you give me cigars, I set them aside, like in a certain part of the humidor for the shows.
Well, I sent you that one not knowing that Z was going to be on. So I was wondering if you smoked it already.
I may have, but I don't think so. Because I had actually the other day or yesterday, I poked my head in the humidor and pulled something out. And I was like, what's this bag? I pulled it out, and it was all the freaking Southern Draws that you sent me.
Oh.
I still have like those really like Lanceros and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have the different cigars that you had sent me and that she had bought for me set aside in a special part of the humidor that when it comes to showtime, I pull them out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we don't have Robert on the show anytime soon. Definitely smoke those cigars.
And then
lesson learned.
who's the guest following tomorrow? I would know the names. Who's after Morales Cordoba or whatever the name is?
Isn't it what's his face from
Tony Bellotto from and I don't even think I have anything from Tony Bellotto.
I do.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, well, because he's done so much. So he's lost and found. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you have plenty of them because I got Jessica a bunch of them.
Yeah.
From
So his company
Carnix, please.
is La Barba, is his company.
The Barbara, yeah.
that's the one with the barber knife, the shaving one.
Razor.
Is it? Did he made that one? Okay.
I think that is the
That's
La
the biggest
Barbara.
one.
It was this.
Yeah, and then like I said, he helped co-found Lost and Found, and then he's got his new, which I got to reach out to Val.
Now, who's the guy who broke away from? Because that was a very difficult cigar. Was that the one that was already just on? One to find, and it was expensive.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He was with a big company and then left and started his own line.
Oh, that was and I don't have any from him either. When is
I got that one for you.
I don't.
What's his name?
Do we have him booked? I don't have him on my.
Name the company. You're
the
not
one thing.
It's Jeremy with Wildfire Cigars.
Yes, that was so tough to find. That was one of
yeah.
the names that Kerr gave me in the next 4 weeks. And I want to say that was like 2 weeks ago.
Is it? Man, when is Jeremy coming on?
Oh, well.
I've Kevin scrambling.
By all
now.
means, let's not do our broadleaf bullies.
This is more important, Jessica.
Fuck Jess. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Jessica.
That's okay.
But
So
anyway.
Jess, let's talk about the blind five.
Jeremy's in May, so okay.
Oh, okay.
So
But Lost and Found, that's where I went to Boda, and they had this display, and they kept telling me, they said Lost and Found partnered up with Bolivar Cigars, and they have 2 cigars out, and they're just not catching fire. You're not catching on. And I smoked both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was all right. The other one was, I can understand why it's not catching fire. I mean, in my opinion. But I mean, the packaging and the freaking cigar band, everything is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I had reached out. I'm gonna make a message Val tomorrow. I was gonna have her come on with Tony, so you can talk about the coffee. Val can talk about the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen Val in forever, so
definitely reach out to
Yeah.
her.
But Jess, we could do Tuesday. I don't think I'm excited about this. That's why I was kind of like wanting to get it. I wanted to talk about it tonight. I'm fucking really excited about it.
I know, and my problem is that I'm trying to finish out my last week at work, and it's not going as smooth as it needs to be. I have a lot on my plate in a short period of time, so I'm like trying to channel my stress without like taking it out on poor Kevin. So
she is not doing a good job.
I am. I have avoided you like the plague.
Yeah.
Have I not avoided you like the plague?
Is that why you have one?
Is that what you call avoiding me? God.
What have I done? Tell me. What have I done?
Tell us,
Enlighten
Kevin.
me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not take out the stress out of you, Kevin, which is why we had the show tonight, so you could just freaking
have I
pick at her and
awful?
piss her off, and then
No, not awful.
Well, what have I done?
Been a little annoying. You've
How?
been a little short with me.
Short how?
You didn't
Like
want to put my
crankiness?
yeah.
short a couple plies on that toilet paper.
That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
That was like tissue paper.
Yeah, let's talk about the toilet paper.
No,
That's
it's fine. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
You have not been
It's
too
funny
thrilled
when I
about
was in the
putting my
bathroom
socks
earlier.
on.
I had
I
ours
haven't
up.
been
I'm like,
thrilled
I
about
can't
putting
see
your
through it. This is
socks
great.
on.
You're putting my socks on crooked, and you're doing it on purpose because you're mad at me. That's why I've had Gabby put my socks on the last 2 days.
Is it catching in your toes?
It is. She puts them on
Yes.
crooked, and I know she's doing it on purpose because I can't
Kevin.
fix that.
It could be worse.
No,
It could be
Oh,
worse.
shit. That's
I don't
funny.
have words
Could it?
for this.
Yes, it could
I having
be.
a bunched up sock that you can't fix.
A bunched up sock
That
is
would suck.
horrible.
That you can't fix. It'd be
Yeah, you
luggled,
can't
is why I
fix
would
it
It would
say.
be
yourself?
luggled.
Luggled.
Yes. Wyatt calls them luggled.
Sorry
Luggled.
that I'm getting kids out the door, then
What's that
myself
movie
out
with,
the door, and have
Lady
to
Bird?
put
What
your
is her
socks
name?
on in the
With,
dark while
Steve
you're
Zahn?
still asleep.
Stephen King movie.
Sorry that I
We watched the
couldn't
whole
get 'em on
fucking
straight.
series about her life.
Castle Rock.
Yeah, but what was the name of the movie that they did with that with James Caan? With
Oh,
Stephen King book?
Misery.
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 Could be worse. Could be like Misery. She
Yeah.
could just line your
She
ankles
could
up and just break
she could
your
just
shit.
Take a sledgehammer to your knee.
Yeah.
You're gonna wake up with a block of wood between your legs.
Yeah.
You're like, Kevin,
We
are
love
your
you,
fucking
Jess.
socks? Are they a little off now?
Oh my god, I can't.
to hear you say she puts your socks on the wrong way.
Just make fun of him.
That's
my
funniest thing I've ever fucking heard.
At the end of the day,
That's
I don't
comedy
even
gold.
know what else I could possibly be doing for everyone else. But
and then
I'll just add more. It's cool.
And then
Just keep adding it.
Gabby has such OCD. It takes her like a whole minute to put my one sock on. Like gets it all nice and just it's nice. She does a nice job.
Good. So great.
Makes me ashamed of putting my own sock on the other foot.
Oh my god! You got to videotape socks going on your feet.
That's a great
We
TikTok,
need to see that
Kev.
video tomorrow.
No, the TikTok is going to be. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok there where the kid
funny.
is like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, well, that's just too damn bad
Yeah.
or something. It's like a Southern grandpa, and I'm like,
God.
I don't want to do this anymore, Grandpa.
Sometimes it's dark and then she's leaving for work and I'm still asleep.
Yeah,
Like,
it pisses me
so
off.
she's got to like pull the blankets back and put my socks on while I'm asleep, and then
Well, he's not
That's
really
freaky.
asleep.
You wake up with your
It's-
socks.
No, he's not asleep though. He's like, my socks.
You're trying to be quiet, tiptoeing out.
I'm
I
like,
need my
out,
socks.
it's like
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like,
because
Like,
I
get the fuck
I
outta
can't
here.
be productive without shoes and socks on.
Just
I
because
feel
like the sock fairy, you just wake up and your socks are magically
Yeah.
no,
on.
they're on wrong apparently though. They're crooked.
I
I'm
never
not
said
a
that
good
you were a
sock
freaking
fairy.
I would
accurate
purposely
sock fairy.
put mismatched socks on his feet.
No, he doesn't have that. That doesn't
Yeah.
exist in Kevin's world.
I would get.
All
a
he has
pair.
is black socks.
I know he does. So
and
I'd
white ones still
purposely,
work.
if
Black
it's dark,
guy.
I would get a different color or two different kinds. I wouldn't care. I would just
He
do
would
that
know.
because it's dark. So when
He would feel it.
Yeah.
Be like, what are you doing? But yeah, so
and then I
okay,
would run
so
out of the room.
without
No, you
like
wouldn't.
being crazy and like trying to accomplish everything that I need to accomplish, then I have this wonderful human being sitting next to me complaining about me putting his socks on wrong.
Well, actually,
So
no.
sorry.
The sock stuff is honestly that's comedy gold. It just
That's as good as the frog.
that is.
Yeah.
It's better than the frog. That's great. Just to see Kevin say that you put your socks on wrong just because you're angry at him.
I'm not angry at it. It has nothing to do with that.
Oh
I
my God.
literally
it was
putting socks
it
on
was-
in a rush
it was-
But
because
it's something
I'm-
so small and petty, like I would do
Ugh,
just to
it was-
fucking
I
do
wish
something.
now that I was doing it.
It was
to be
funny
petty as fuck, but I
last
was-
week when she was leaving and I just happened to wake up and I'm like, I need my socks on, and she's like, I'm late for work, and then she goes out, and then like I heard you leave and go out into the garage, and then I'm like, fuck it, and then like 30 seconds later, clomp back in, open my drawer,
because I
Put
felt
my
like
so-
because then I felt bad.
put my socks on.
I know that's.
It's the worst.
I can see me
It's
being
just-
angry at you and just misplacing something of yours just to irritate you.
Yeah.
And then the one time,
would.
like I said, and that wasn't nothing bad. She just didn't know. Normally, like I said, I can get my own underwear on after the shower. I like throw it down on the one leg, and then like I can just get it up. And then my knee was hurting real bad, and I couldn't bend either of them, so I had to have her. I'm like had to call her on the phone. I'm like, hey, I need help in the bathroom. So she like puts my underwear on. I'm like, and then she like hikes them up, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she doesn't know. And I'm like, I'm not.
How do you not know when to stop pulling up?
I would. That's great. Give him
Jess.
a
Oh my
wedgie.
God.
I know you wedgie people in your day, so you know you're wedging him. You know that. That's
Yeah, but
fucking passive
Kevin,
aggressive.
It's like when
know
Hold
you
on, what is that? Is that
I don't
a
know
little
what
too
you're
much?
talking
Oh,
about.
Kevin, what are you talking about? That's
I
perfect.
have
isn't it?
no idea what you're talking about. It was very steamy in there. I was trying to do it fast.
Yeah.
Get in, get out.
Oh yeah. God.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You wedged someone, so you know
Yeah.
when that's
I have a
hooking up
little
their
brother.
ass.
Damn right.
Yeah.
My sister and I fucking
Oh,
Kevin,
Are they boxer briefs, or
Boxer
tiny
briefs.
boxer briefs?
that is 100% on purpose. I can't speak
Yeah.
for the freaking the whole sock design, but
yeah.
if someone puts your
sock-
underwear on a little too high,
Honestly,
Yeah.
the
You
sock
put- you
thing
put
is
clothing
not
on
something I
kids,
did.
especially
you
boxer
put clothing
briefs?
on
It
you
only
wedgie
goes so
people,
far.
you know when the freaking
Yeah, I might have tugged a little up. So, it's all right. Just nice
Yeah.
and snug. That was because I don't even know why that irritated me. I probably was in the middle because Kevin also comes out and he stands there and he goes, rubs his tummy. It's like, oh, what's for dinner? After I just fucking walk in the door, he's like, stretches like, it's been a long day of me sitting.
I don't say that. Normally
you rub your tummy.
No, normally I say, hey, are you hungry too?
Yeah.
And that's usually.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Wow. Are you hungry too?
But his hands are completely not broke. Like nothing is broken. Nothing. He can cook. He's cooked a couple times, but no. Waits for me.
That's freaking great.
That's awesome.
Lovely. So me pulling his underwear up a little,
that's
high.
That's Kevin from Cigarprop's first world problems. Having his socks and underwear put on for him and wrongly.
Yeah.
Just think, Kevin, one day you'll have enough money where you can hire somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Have your own nurse.
So
listen, honestly, they would quit. And nobody knows what it's like to take care of this person. He's very particular.
I'm more curious about the toilet paper.
Okay.
Because
let me give you a backstory.
I know, but I'm not done with my lead in Jersey.
Okay, go ahead.
Because when I read it, I saw it, and I just think right away, like freaking, being in college and freaking having, yellow pages and then one ply and then the Goodwill toilet paper. So what makes you look at like that one ply toilet paper and be like, man,
no, you're not understanding.
I gotta bring this home.
But you're not understanding. So let me explain.
Okay.
So people donate, right? So these were new packages. They were all different.
Donated toilet paper?
No, it's not out of the package. It's a full purchased package of 4 or 6, right?
Gotcha.
Somebody just donates it, right? A lot of times people buy stuff for Goodwill and say, hey, we want to donate this for you to give to people, which is not how it works. Like, we're not that kind of a charity, right? We're in the business of making money, okay? So
not UNICEF here.
So anyway, so when we get that stuff donated and it's fully intact in the package, like we do put a price tag on it and put it out on the floor. So somebody started collecting all the packets and putting it in our utility closet as if we could use that toilet paper, which we can't because we have certain toilet paper we have to order to fit the equipment that the toilet paper goes in, the dispensers. So we can't use regular everyday toilet paper. So I had to get up super early to go and meet one of my shift supervisors because we were doing a deep cleaning of the store because the new store manager is coming in tomorrow. So we wanted to do like a really nice cleaning, welcome her to the store that I'm handing over to her, And so Kevin texts me as I'm like in the middle of sweat. I mean, I'm like pissy. And he's like, we're out of toilet paper. I'm like, what happened to the toilet paper that I just bought that's in the garage? So then I didn't see his text until later. So I take all the toilet paper that they were collecting, fucking shoved it in bags and bought it. So it's all mixed. So that just happened to be the shitty whatever one ply toilet paper, brand new in a pack that he got. I go, maybe next time he needs toilet paper, it will be the 2-ply. I don't fucking know. Some was Scott, some was a no-name brand.
So like I said, I'm here spinning it.
That's a dangerous wheel that you're spinning.
So,
and shitty is the freaking operative word with one ply because your hands will get shitty.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't have to stop at the goddamn store as I was drenched and wet and gross and sticky and nasty from being at work. But I also was up since 4:30 that morning because I got to work by like 5:36. So I don't want to hear any shit about shit. Buy your own goddamn toilet paper. You know how to use the online thing. Yeah, ordered yourself some soda the other day and had them deliver it in the fucking garage.
Yeah, in Instacart. It was. I had a bunch of soda. She's like, "Did you get anything else?" I go, "No, we were just out of soda." She's like, "No, we needed eggs. We needed this," and I'm like,
"That you eat?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, we're out of soda. I need it."
Don't even get me started.
That's
so
funny.
it was one less trip for me to have to fucking do. So you got fucking a mix match pile of fucking toilet paper.
I don't know, man. I don't like stopping. I mean, I don't like stopping at stores. I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I
But
know
we weren't out of toilet paper. It was in the garage.
And I know where you're coming from, Jess. But I gotta tell you, fucking shit paper, man.
Well, then he can buy his own shit paper and leave it in a special fucking spot for his perfect little fucking hiney. Apparently, he needs special toilet paper.
Kevin says
special. That's not like special toilet paper. That's just
whatever.
That's called my finger ain't gonna fucking break through and freaking go up my bunghole.
Why are you wiping aggressively?
What
is happening here?
But Kevin says toilet paper could be too soft as well. Like, what toilet paper is too? You have to go back and read the Bullies chat today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, today. So he says, I don't like when it's too soft. Like, does it not pick up enough? What's too soft?
Why are we having this?
I don't like the way it feels.
I don't like the way
it feels.
Like, it feels like the fibers are coming off. Like,
he doesn't like cotton balls. He does not like cotton balls.
The fuck you wiping your ass with? Cotton?
He does not like cotton balls. So he
cotton balls.
So you wipe your ass with cotton balls?
So if it feels cottony, like a cotton ball, he probably won't use it.
Do you use Q-tips?
No.
How do you clean your ears?
Oh, I thought you meant on my butt. You know, I'm like, well,
because we're talking about cotton balls, so now I'm segueing into Q-tips.
The way you answered that was fucked up because you're like, no.
I'm like, how do you know?
Like you thought about it, like, no, that sounds pretty good. I can really.
I think it made sense. Just
like
said cotton balls. I said Q-tips.
I can clean out all the cracks. I mean, every little crap. I had cotton ball in my bum.
Listen, I
could get a fans only page. I'm sure I make some money on that.
Normally, I buy really good toilet paper, but I was so annoyed. I just bought a whole bunch from BJ, so that's why he didn't go look. It's like if it's not right there, I get, we're out. We're not motherfucking out. You didn't walk. So I just didn't want to take the chance because I was not going back out to the store. I was not fucking doing it. So I was just like, whatever. I just fucking threw all that shit in a bag and was like, boop, there you go.
See, the best toilet paper are paper towels. Like when we run out, we got to use a paper towel is a good toilet paper. What about
tissues?
No,
tissues in your bathroom?
Tissues are probably.
See, we use Puffs Plus. So Puffs Plus is a good emergency toilet paper. Except it could clog the toilet.
And then I hate buying toilet paper. Who the fuck is smart enough to fucking do toilet paper math? When are they just going to break it down per square? You look at it, and it's
can't
like
spare square.
Yeah, it's like 32 fucking mega rolls equal 170 regular rolls, but then you got these 12 regular rolls, whatever, and it's just like you're comparing. Yeah. It's like I don't understand. I don't understand any of this fucking math on these packages. I think it's all a scam. Mega roll, platinum roll,
because they're using these words to get you to buy.
It's not. There are definitely toilet papers.
Yeah. But then it makes me wonder, do you need to go to the doctors and make sure that you don't have like diarrhea issue? I mean, the fact that you need to have like really thick, sturdy, fucking non-cotton toilet paper.
Yeah, but I do. There are certain toilet papers that, let me finish. I can hear you lining up over there.
So you don't use Cottonelle.
That is almost soft, and it's like when you get out of the shower and you dry yourself off with certain towels and you don't feel dry afterwards.
Yeah.
You know those towels.
We have some of those.
That toilet paper is like that too, where you wipe your ass and you feel like it feels off. But there is differences with the toilet papers, because Jen would freaking get toilet paper sometime, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was like someone took butcher paper and cut them up in the freaking toilet paper rolls.
Cleaned your ass.
And was like, here. And I'm like, I'd rather go back to the days of using the phone book than freaking use this stuff.
Oh my God. It must be a guy thing. It must be. I don't
really care. I'm just happy
I don't care either.
Well, you girls don't shit because you're so fucking perfect. And
whatever. We have two areas we have to wipe.
And then, what are you talking about? And then you got, I was like,
really? That's kind of aggressive, Jess. We have two areas. But don't you have to wipe one area one way and the other the other? So it's wiping like this.
Front to back.
And then Fred was
front to back, and then the back is.
We don't do that. That's not. Women can't do that. We can't. aggressively.
Excuse me, but if your coochie's here, you're going to be wiping this way. And then if your coochie's here, you're wiping your ass this way.
Listen.
So you have to wipe
we-
front to back and then back to front because you can't wipe your butthole
Listen.
over your coochie because that's how you
Listen.
get infections.
That's what I'm saying. So front to back.
Yes,
You don't
for the
go from
coochie
back
part.
to front.
So
Yeah.
Listen,
follow-up question.
we have
You
been.
do when you wipe your butt. Though.
Women are very well
When you wipe
versed
your-
on how to make sure they don't get a.
When you wipe
fucking-
your butt, do you wipe your butt back to front or front to back?
from front to back.
Right. From here back.
Yes.
And then when you do the front, it's from here.
Yes,
Up.
but are you not? Who cares about
Those
the toilet
zones
paper?
never cross. It should never cross.
Oh my god!
It
You know,
goes-
it reminds me when
So
we had a
ridiculous.
Dr. Emil on the show, and I had asked him on like Cuban cigars why the tobaccos taste so different because they're still grown on the same island. You know, it's a pretty small island, and he used the analogy, and he goes, "I'll put it this way: women have two holes separated by an inch." And they taste completely different. And I go,
Mm.
all you got to say, Doc, thank you.
So
Yeah.
now I'm still stuck on cotton balls. Do you truly not like cotton balls?
I hate cotton balls.
I can't.
Now,
hate
do
it.
you
I
use
can't keep them where he
Q-tips?
can see them.
I probably only use Q-tips every couple of months.
What?
I don't
Do you
like
not
Q-
clean your ears?
I do. I usually
do you
try and
do a wash?
No, I usually try and do them with at least like not a one-ply toilet paper, funnel it up and try and
Oh my
clean
God.
it out.
I have to clean my ears every day. I just
too.
the thought of ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so bad for you.
No,
Jamming
it
all
isn't.
that
You know what,
stuff and
I'm not
twisting
jamming
it.
it at all.
In. You
Yeah.
just
I have
let
perfectly
it-
clean ears.
Yeah.
you don't
So do
jam
I.
it. You don't jam it in. I've never
That's
had
disgusting.
What?
He only cleans
Yeah.
his ears every couple months.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Cone's got good clean ears.
No, he
I-
does not.
I do when I do clean them with a Q-tip, like so.
With all the headphones that you wear, the oil that must accumulate.
there's when I do
God,
when
Gabby's ears.
when
are
I
like
do
the
clean them
worst.
with a Q-tip, it's almost like nothing comes out.
That's because it's all
probably
compacted in
why.
there. We'll have to do an ear wash and see how much crap comes out of his ear.
Oh, yeah.
Like we'll look and see like
We
the.
used to do ear wash with the kids, and
Oh
it would
my
come
God.
out.
I've
It
done-
was
I
like
have-
you
I-
see stalactites and
Oh, Kevin's
stalagmites in
now
there.
trying to be like,
no,
oh
no,
my
no.
god.
I have the drops. I probably use those once a month,
That
like while I'm
doesn't
in the
mean
shower.
anything.
Like you put them in there, and you just like.
It breaks it up. It breaks
Yeah,
it up.
like-
It dissolves it. And it just kind
Like the
of
little
comes out.
suction
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, no, I don't use the suction. I just like put it under the shower and let it all dry.
Gross.
Yeah. It's still dissolves. It's still the same concept. That's why he's got clean ears.
Gross.
Joe used
Yeah.
to have some fucked
I
up
agree.
ears.
I
Yeah.
can't.
God
I can't
dang.
not clean my ears.
Mm.
Gabby, like from where.
And I'm surprised because he's such a germaphobe and
Ugh.
clean. I'm
That's
surprised
why I
you
do. I
don't.
do the sinus rinse.
When's the last time you did a sinus rinse? Be honest.
Oh no! Now that I'm at home, since I haven't been at home, when I'm at work, I have to do it all the time. At least twice a week, where you put the little salt packet in there.
Yeah,
and
I
you
The
fill it
neti
up.
pot?
What?
Did
A neti pot. The
It's
No.
not a neti pot.
No, I don't
When's
use
the
that.
last time you've used one? Be honest.
a nasal
Mid
lavage.
December.
I don't know.
I think it's the whole fucking same concept, right? You shoot water up your nose and
Yeah,
your
it
sinuses. and-
irrigates your sinuses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
like
thing as
you close one, you shoot it up, and then
Yeah.
you hold your mouth open, and it comes out.
Oh my
your mouth.
god. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yes.
No.
Same
no.
concept as a
No.
neti pot.
No, you hold.
Yeah,
No, you
it's
close your
sort of the
mouth. You
same
shoot it up
con-
one nostril,
It's
and
sort
it
of the
goes
same
around and it comes
concept.
out the other.
It's
nostril.
shooting water up your nose and cleaning your
Yeah.
sinuses and coming out of your mouth,
Yeah.
whether it's a pot going up your nose or a freaking
Yeah.
It's just like a
pressurized hose.
Yeah.
So
So
gross.
basically, all that shit in your sinuses and snot goes into your mouth.
No. It you hold your mouth. You put it up one nostril, and it comes out the
and
other.
it's a
nostril.
snot rocket out the other
Yeah.
side.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
it comes out your mouth.
No, I always misspoke, but yeah, it comes out the other nostril. But at work with all the
because
break,
it's probably been a really
with all the
long
brake
time.
dust, and I'm sure the asbestos and whatever we're working with, sinuses get clogged up constantly at work.
Do you do that before you review a cigar so your palate's completely clean? Just
Actually, I never thought about it, but that
That'd be-
would
That'd
would
be-
100%.
Yeah.
that would probably be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'm going to try that. I can just see if that.
If it enhances
See if
it.
you catch
Yeah.
any more. I mean, I think it would. You know,
It
Yeah.
should. Technically, it should. Or
Yeah.
medically.
see, mine I have a deviated septum, partially deviated
He
septum,
cracks it all
so
the time.
I get a lot.
Yeah.
I get a lot of freaking like buildup because my nose eventually kind of sloughs to one side, and then one nasal passage gets completely freaking clogged, and then I got to freaking spend the night like just trying to get my freaking cartilage back in fucking place.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and I'll hear them pop it over.
Yeah, and I think ear, note, and throws guy. I think they're constantly pushing. I don't even think they know what a deviated septum is. I think that's just an easy because you can't tell for yourself if you've got one. Because I had my surgery to fix mine, and then I was having some sinus issues a couple of years later. And the guy's looking, he's like, "Oh, I see you have a deviated septum." I'm like, "What?" You know, my insurance company paid $20,000 to have that fixed. They're like, "Oh, who did it?" And I go, "Michael Stampard." And he goes, "Oh, like a well-renowned ear, nose, and throat guy."
Did it not?
Yeah, no. He never brought it up again. And I'm like, "Oh."
So was he just trying to?
I think he was just trying. I think he was just trying to
money?
say. Yeah, I think he was just trying to scam me for some money.
Right,
Yeah,
and you know when you have one, like
but what else how else would they fix it without surgery?
No, I think he was just trying to get, trying.
He didn't know Kevin had it fixed, so he's just trying to freaking say he had a deviated septum.
Okay.
So when Kevin said no, I had it fixed, he was like, "Oh shit, okay," and then
like we never talked about it
dropped
again.
the subject again because
nobody ever brought it up again.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, because mine was my freshman year, and we were playing Jersey City, and my helmet hit here, and I heard a pop, and I thought I broke my nose, but they're like, no. But then, like, I couldn't breathe, and then my nose is crooked. So then when I got to go pop it over.
There's so many people who have, a deviated septum, but it struggles for breathing, like especially at sleep. Like a lot of people think they have sleep apnea, or it creates like that kind of. I mean, that's scary when
I can breathe. It is noticeably better. And mine's partially deviated. So, like, I remember we were in art class, I think my sophomore year or something, and we made the plaster mask. And you could tell my nose was like, but I can tell, like, before and after when how my breathing is way better. Like, I'll blow my nose, I'll make sure I get everything out, but that one nostril over on this side just gets very boogered up. I got to clean it out, and then when I pop it over, I can breathe perfectly.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's very.
Have you ever used those strips, like the Breathe Right?
I used to have to every night. For
work?
What? For like
they work.
I bet for a year I had to use them like every night. Oh my god, night and day, brother.
I think I tried using them many years ago when they first came out.
I bet Jen, if you don't have any problems with your sinus, use them. You'll be like, this is how you're supposed to breathe.
Yeah, it worked.
Nice.
I did it like
I may have to try that at night because I wake up congested every morning.
Yeah, I keep my toolbox at work if I get like a real big breathe, like real dusty, like drum breaks, instantly closes up my sinuses, and I'll put one at work.
Well, because when we first started. I think it was when we first started living together. I mean, his allergies or sinus, something was going on, and he put one on, and it was like totally.
What is it like? A Vicks
You've never seen
strip
one?
For your nose?
No, it's a strip, and it actually sticks there, and it opens it up because.
Well, it's got a piece of metal in it.
Yeah, it expands
it's not medication.
Out. No, it's not medication.
Oh,
you ever see the guys in football? You always have that thing on top of their nose.
Yeah, I didn't know what
I tried them a few times because I knew guys in football that would put them on.
Yeah.
And you'd see it. It helps you get air better.
Now they do have Vicks ones, Jan. Yeah. Now like that's something new
they have some different ones.
You basically you put it on and it's got a sticky thing on it, kind of like the stuff that sticks to your balls. And then and then when you let it go, since that strip is metal, it actually opens up.
Yeah,
the area,
and it's not uncomfortable because I don't like things on my face, and I had some I must have been having allergies, and he's like, just try it, and I did it a couple times and was like, holy shit, I could actually breathe, and it did not bother me at all.
Now when I had my deviated septum fixed, they also my sinus cavities had like some growth or something in there, so they weren't almost like an old sewer pipe. How they explained it. You had the growth and everything. So they took a laser to both of them, lasered all that out, and then they had to put these little hollow tube stents up in there. And I had to leave them in there for over a week. And the nurse said, she goes, try and make it 7 days. She goes, usually 4. And people they'll go insane. Like after 4 days, I thought I was going to go crazy because you could feel them underneath your eyes and the skin salt. And then after 2 days, they completely clogged up. So you breathed out of your mouth for a week. And I made it the whole time though. And
of course you did.
Oh my God. It got to the point that's all you could concentrate on. Nothing else mattered except you could feel them horrible. Under your eyes.
So when they take them out.
Oh, and I almost threw up right in front of him because he pulls them out and then it pulled out all the scabbage and everything and then you could feel it start from underneath your eye and pull all the way out.
Do they go in and flush it out afterwards?
Yeah. Just make sure.
That was when they took out my stent.
Yeah, no, that was
for my kidney stone.
Yeah,
that was disgusting.
We were having that conversation when it was do you remember the first time that you said you loved me? We had that conversation the other night, and I was like, no.
I asked them.
I said, but I remember when I found out I was your boyfriend is when they were pulling a stent out of your urethra. Freaking, that was freaking.
It looked like it was freaking huge to know that was up in the kidney and out, and I'm just like,
it was not a good moment.
It looked like it was horrible.
It looked and smelled horrible
and they don't
in that room.
give you any pain meds, nothing. They just yank it out.
Yanked it out.
Oh. Yeah, it was just
that's what my dad said when he had for kidney stones way back in the day. And they said they just pulled it right out.
Yep, and it's really freaking long, and that is a curlicue on the end because that part goes up in the kidney to help keep it draining. Then the rest goes down the ureter and then out. So
between that, your back and the freaking thing under your armpit, man,
you've seen some gross shit.
I have endured some fucking horrendously gross shit that you haven't. You're lucky I'm still around.
You are.
No, because you don't go to the doctor. When you do go, you're going to be like one of them people that
I don't go to the doctor.
You don't go to the doctor.
What do you mean? When's the last time? Yeah. When's the last time I went, Kevin? When's the last
prior to COVID?
Prior to COVID,
I went once a year for my checkup, I'm supposed to. Yes, I did.
But no,
I had good insurance. Fuck off. You don't know.
You never went. They, as in Jen and Kerr, don't know that you're lying.
I am not lying. Yeah. I have the moment I met you, I have been going to.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I have made all of your appointments for you.
No, you haven't made all of my appointments. Get out of here.
The only experience I've seen with Jess of any type of health care was when you got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to the doctors because I don't get sick.
No, I'm saying when you were sick though.
I went to the doctors after I got home from the hospital.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the truth serum to kick in. I was waiting for the truth serum.
I did go to the doctor.
I forced you to go to the eye doctor, and then you came home and like, oh my God, I can see. I didn't realize I couldn't see.
Forced me. I was getting really bad headaches, and obviously I knew it was time for me to go to the eye doctor. And yeah, you hounded me until I made the appointment, but it's not like you held my hand and called them and made the fucking appointment for me. You didn't go with me.
I made your dermatologist appointment for you.
And I went one time, and I'm never going again. Yeah. I don't like people touching me. That's not no. They have this bright ass light. They make you be like naked. No, the dermatologist was a horrifying experience for me. I will never go back.
What kind of dermatology are you going to?
I know.
There's some 70s music playing in the background.
Dermatologists, they go and they inspect your whole entire body. It's so fucking.
Oh yeah, they start it like if I have hair at that time, and then they go all the way down to they pull your toes apart.
Everything.
And they look for.
They look at everything. I was like, okay, I'm having a fucking panic attack as I'm laying here with this woman touching and looking at and with a mat. I mean, they're looking.
I'm going to need you to get naked and put
I thought I was going to die, and then I never went back. So yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, wow. I'm never doing that. Kevin gets the sniffles, and the world has ended. He will jump to the doctors. I am the opposite. I obviously,
you almost died. So yeah,
I will wait until I am on death. You know,
I went to the doctor, Kevin, when it was you loaded me up in the ambulance.
I just have never had good experiences growing up as a kid. Like it just I just avoid doctors.
I can't criticize you because Jen will tell you I'm not a very good going to the doctor type person. I'm not, and I finally have given in.
Yeah,
and have been going to doctor, especially after COVID. Really freaked me out. So I realized, okay,
you'll get over that.
I got no, I haven't. I mean, I was like, I gotta get a good family doctor because I've been down here 10 years and I have my family doc. I think I've gone to him twice. And they're like, you haven't seen a doctor? You're 50. You haven't done it? I'm like, no. And then finally, after, the love of my life, who was not annoying and hounded me, convinced me otherwise. Okay, great. Go to family doctor. And, now I'm going through all sorts of fun stuff right now. I get my
gotta be proactive.
I got to get my my colonoscopy.
That was and probably one of the reasons why I had lost a few friends when I was young. One friend colon cancer, and he was like, I mean, I don't know, I was probably in my late teens, he was probably in his 40s. One of those things that was preventable. And then I volunteered at the American Cancer Society for probably 7 years, and then just the people, it's like, you see them and they've had loved ones die because they didn't get it checked in time, or there's what they had to go through really aggressive chemo and treatment just because that you hear the stories. I put it off. I had a little pain. I put it off. I put it off. And I think probably between all that was just drilled into me of just it's almost
it's a good way to be though. I mean,
in our day and age, like 2022. There's not a lot that's not preventable. Most
of it is. A lot of it is.
But here's the thing, though. Like, if my ear was like in excruciating pain, obviously I would know I had an ear infection and have to go get medication. So I'm gonna go. If my throat's really scratchy and like unbearable, I probably have strep throat. I'm gonna go.
But not everything's symptomatic though, and I think that's the idea of being preventative,
right? And that's what I understand more now than anything.
Yeah, but family history, lab work.
Like I
just had all of that done, and it's what is blowing my doctor's mind is like I don't have any other issues. It was like for me to have had what I had with it just came out of from what I don't have any other medical issues. And it's not like I don't take care of myself. I also don't like I don't live like an unhealthy lifestyle. It's not like.
But sometimes it doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean,
I know. But I'm saying like when I get sick, I mean you can get colds, all that stuff. That's what I actually thought I had, and I just ignored it for so long,
right?
Because I put work and everybody else's needs before mine. That's just the truth of it too.
Fucking did the same thing with work, and you know what? I finally said, I was like, you know what? I can't. And losing my brother at 57 of a heart attack, and then also my dear friend and football coach losing him at 57 of a heart attack, and realizing, okay, I'm not exactly the freaking fittest person. I realized, okay, I can keep doing what I'm doing and fucking end up being fucking dead at 57, like everyone else, and knowing my family history,
right?
Or I could do something about it,
and be proactive. And I agree with that.
And thank God I did, because it was like, we had some tests, like, okay, I'm on cholesterol medication right now. I know it was like I was just being stubborn and stupid. They did that whole calcium scan of my heart, so I'm going to go see a cardiologist because there's some plaque buildup. But then they were like, okay, well, you have something on your liver, and I'm like, Lord knows I was not good to my liver for a very long time, but then it was just a natural, it's just a cyst, it was just cysts, I think there was a couple of them, right? But they went and did the ultrasound and everything else and found out that that's what it was. But it's like I was not symptomatic, but if it could have been something worse. I had a very good friend of mine too who freaking great athlete, just took care of himself, always just ate well, just did everything, just a fantastic shape. And what he had with lymphoma, right? The one I was telling you about, the guy I played football with. He had the bone marrow transplant. The twin.
Pancreatic?
No.
No. Yeah, it was lymphoma.
It was lymphoma. He just doctor's visit. Had lymphoma. He's recovered now. He's remission and stuff.
Good.
But I mean, it's sometimes you just go in for a regular checkup and they go, oh, hey, guess what we found?
That's what happened. My buddy Woody, his dad, playing golf up in Chicago, felt a little pain in his leg, thought he pulled something, and went to the doctor and ended up doing some blood work and came back with lung cancer. And he asked him, he goes, well, so what do we do from here? And they go, nothing. You've got like 6 months. And he's what? And just, there's nothing we can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, but that's the realities of things. So I kind of.
But you do put some stuff off. Remember when your boob hurt for a couple of months, and then I called Dr. Ravid, and he's a friend of mine. I go, hey Joe, Jessica's boob is really starting to hurt, and she's putting it off. And
thank you for sharing my personal stuff that I might not
HIPAA violation, Kevin.
Yeah. First off, don't share my personal health stuff if I don't want it to be shared.
Well, there's nothing happened, so he's so he calls his nurse, calls in like an emergency mammogram, and end up being nothing.
See,
so.
But it's and being in the medical industry and preaching like we do and talk, I was like, I feel like a big fucking hypocrite if I don't do it. So I gotta save face. If not for my own health and well-being, I can't be a goddamn hypocrite. What?
I'm not a hypocrite.
No, you need to do it for me. I'm asking you to be.
Well, I know because she's always like, I want you dropping dead.
Well, that's what
Kevin
says. Kevin says the same thing to me, but for me, it's more like
everybody put his socks on.
I'm okay not
knowing your socks on.
I'm okay not knowing certain things. I don't know. That's just a bad,
I'm not
unhealthy
okay with
way.
that.
I would just rather keep doing, and I don't want to stress or know things because then I feel like that's all you focus. And I did, and
I don't want to drop dead. I'd rather have a diagnosis.
We're not 80 years old
frame.
or 70 years old.
Yeah.
If I live a fulfilled life and kids were growing and I had grandchildren or whatever, so be it. Once I hit a time frame in my older life, sure. Not at 49.
No, I want to. Listen, hook me up to machines. I want to stay alive.
We have a lot to do in life.
I seriously,
and as bullies, we have a lot to do.
I don't disagree. That was what got me out of the hospital, was the will to have to keep living, not just for myself, but for the people that I love.
But even if I'm 90, and they're like, well, it's that time, Carrie, or we could put you on these 5 machines and still keep you alive. I'm like, plug me in.
Hook me up.
I'm not ready to check out. I want to keep hanging out.
I want to be a burden on everybody for as long as I can.
I want to be a burden, and I want my family to curse every time they fucking drain their freaking savings account, and then eventually have to make the tough decision to pull the plug, and then I want them to live with the guilt that they fucking pulled the plug on me.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm definitely.
I'm a very selfless person like that.
I will be much better taking care of myself now than I ever used to be, but I'm not going to lie and say, "Oh, I was taking great care of myself."
Well, I think that's
going to the doctor,
and I think that's a lot of people that get COVID. I mean,
it's not even just that.
Well,
it wasn't even just. Well,
especially on that though, because nobody knows, and I think everybody in general, even if you didn't get it, you got the shot, because now people don't know long-term effects. What's this shot going to do to me in 15 years, 20 years, and then the same thing. What's having COVID going to do to me? Am I going to develop emphysema?
Well, we're seeing effects now. Patients that got it over 2 years ago when it first started. I'm seeing long-term effects with patients now.
But let me ask you something. I want to throw out a question about this, because I believe that there are long-term effects. I'm not discounting that. I'm not a flat earther. But I think we've seen a huge uptake in people going to the doctors more tests being run on people.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also them looking in other areas to see if COVID has impacted them. So now, first thing I read, cyst in the liver. It's hereditary, or it's a freaking sign of this, that, or COVID.
Right.
And it seems like everything now is being attributed to COVID. And I think that there is some seriousness to that. I think there is some reality to the long-term effects of COVID in certain areas and stuff. But I also believe that it's being kind of like, hey, you know, what's this thing on my ear? I don't know, man. But you know what? Did you have COVID? Yeah, it probably was because of COVID.
And that was my concern. So when I was actually experiencing some really, it was like scary. I mean, my hair was starting to fall out. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And when I went to the doctors, because I made an appointment right away and was like, all right, like this is scaring me. He's like, it is from, he goes, 100% it's from stressing from COVID. He goes, it's gonna fall out, and then he goes, and then it will stop. And he was right, it did, but I had to stop taking my vitamins because that was actually making patients with that was making it worse.
Yeah, that's what I had mentioned to her. I'm like, man, I said,
so I talked to Doc,
and
I talked to Doc Ravita about it, but I was also getting those infusions that was all vitamins, so I was like loading my whole entire body, overloading it, and my hair started. I mean, it was not like small amounts; it was so much hair, clumps of hair.
Yeah.
And but I could also feel like in my joints, and still even now, something's going on with my joints. And he's like, he goes, there's nothing wrong with you. He goes, if you're feeling something, it could be a side effect from COVID. He goes, that I don't know, but I feel joint pain.
Yeah, it could be.
Fucking weird.
Well, because you get inflammatory responses during COVID, so it could still happen afterwards, or you may just have arthritis too. Like
right. Well, yeah, we did all kinds of tests and stuff, and also some of it too is I logically realized like it scared the living shit out of me. So now is it like a residual like panic in my brain? Like, am I focusing and it's a phantom thing that's happening? And he's like, possibly. He goes, you could possibly be like telling yourself this is still happening to you and it's not, you know. But there's days where I legitly feel like shit, and like there's no reason. Like I know if I overdo it at work, like I know I can feel it like instantly. It hits me and I'm like, fuck. Like I am beat up and I don't even know how to explain it. And I feel like
exhausted.
I feel like
I'm you hit a fucking wall.
Yeah, like literally somebody beat the shit out of me and I could just fucking go to sleep for.
Yeah, I won't mention any names, but I know someone who had COVID a while back, and it was just until recently, and it's been several months. It was like early afternoon, you know, mid-afternoon. It was like boom, it was like someone did a power drain on the batteries internally. I never had that. I still got a little fucking brain foggy, and I think I still get hung up on trying to find certain words sometimes. And it really bothers the shit out of me, like a simple word.
And I know that's one thing they're looking at, you know, like long term, because the COVID brain fog is a thing.
Dude,
you know,
I was going to ask you though, since you noticed that I had it really bad, it obviously is better than when I first had it, but do you still notice that?
Every now and then, you can tell. And then
at work they tell me all the time. At work,
it's noticeable at times, but also even not remembering certain things. It's like almost like COVID in some patients cause like a little micro, I don't want to say amnesia, but where there's kind of like little blips that.
Well, there was conversation stuff we talked about like in November, December. I don't remember.
Yeah.
There were certain things I remember, but like when I had it, January, I barely remember anything from January. It's a blur. I remember a handful of things.
Yeah. So now when you're 80, 90, is that you're not going to have, is that going to be something else diagnosed? It's not going to be Alzheimer's. It's not going to be this. Are they going to develop a new term for someone?
Well, they're already studying it.
Yeah.
Brain shrinkage, right? They're showing people with post COVID have you normally have a shrinking brain, you know, with age, but people who have had COVID, I think what they said is shrinking something like 8% faster or more so than someone who was who didn't have COVID. So you are losing some of that functionality as age goes by, but apparently COVID has really kind of sped up that process.
Okay, because I know the American Cancer Society is looking at it too. I belong to the CPS3 study, which they've been doing that for like 15 years now, and that's be another 15 years or 10 years before the results of that. And they've been asking a lot of questions. Did you get your COVID shot? They ask you a lot of how's your diet, health, everything that's changed. And they're like, those surveys that you get are a lot more detailed.
So I just
they'll be looking
read
at
an
that.
article about a gentleman who has autoimmune deficiency and got COVID and then got his shot after he had COVID, and it completely took COVID away. Like he was testing positive for like months after. Once he got his vaccination, he's no longer testing positive or show any trace that he had COVID.
Interesting.
So what?
He has an autoimmune deficiency.
So it's AIDS.
No.
Isn't that what AIDS is?
No.
AID, autoimmune deficiency.
Autoimmune deficiency syndrome is AIDS.
Oh, okay.
Someone that just
But
has.
see, you
issues
can
with
have an
their
autoimmune deficiency or an autoimmune disease. It's
right. That's not anything to do with
and
AIDS.
anything like rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune deficiency.
I don't know
yeah.
exactly, but it was like he couldn't get vaccinated because at the time, whatever, blah blah blah, and then so he got COVID, and then he just kept testing positive for COVID, and it was like 6 or 7 months he kept testing positive, and I've heard this from other people too that had kept testing positive for a long period of time after they had COVID. Well, then he went and got vaccinated, and it literally stopped testing positive, but it also showed no trace of COVID at all.
Interesting.
So they're studying that now, maybe with him having a low immune system. I don't know. I don't know what all of that entails, but I just
that's
felt like that was an interesting thing because I also know a couple people who were having to get tested all the time for their work.
Yeah.
And so when they had a mild case of COVID, it barely, affected them, but they were still testing positive 5-6 months later.
Yeah, that's curious. I'd be curious on what kind of autoimmune deficiency he had. I mean, because there's
I'll see if I can find the article again. It didn't go into great detail, but it was still an interesting thought. Where is this going to lead to? So it's all the unknown. It's all so much stuff that they don't know. But I know, Jen, that you're seeing stuff now, 2 years plus later, of people who had it, and what severity did they have it? Even if someone just had a mild case, is it still affecting them on a grand level? That's the interesting part.
Holy
about
mackerel.
it. That's Stella. She's fierce.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I find it interesting. I was, like I said, talking to Dr. Rodriguez, and we talked a while back, and having a lot of younger folks were experiencing blood clots.
Yeah,
and they felt that the COVID virus was also having an impact on your body's prostacyclin process, which is basically your body's natural blood thinner. And that's why you were having, these younger folks who shouldn't be throwing blood clots at their age, throwing blood clots, and there's a lot of different areas in the body and receptor sites that deal with inflammation. And oddly enough, those particular areas of your body that regulate inflammation also regulates your body's homeostasis. It regulates your body's blood thinning, the healing of that's why medications any non-steroidal or Tylenol and stuff, they always look at the perforations, the ulcerations and bleeds, the impact on your stomach, because all those particular areas also play a role in regulating the healing of the stomach lining as well. So all that stuff's kind of all interrelated, but I do think, and I do concern myself sometimes with everything just being kind of blanket statement. Well, that's just from COVID. That's just COVID. Or it's probably the byproduct of COVID, or it's the after effects of COVID. I'm also interested if we're ever going to get involved in any type of studies, because I know that they really want to start looking at different areas and different disease states and folks who had COVID versus not COVID. That's why this was that study about brains was I think it was the United Kingdom, was in the UK, looking at your brain functioning, folks who suffered from COVID and for folks who didn't suffer from COVID. So it's very interesting shit.
Yeah, I was reading an article, and it was pretty in depth, which I didn't know until probably 6 months ago. About autoimmune deficiency. There are people that are immune to AIDS.
Yeah.
And there's the one guy in England that he got AIDS and then ended up needed a bone marrow transplant, and then he was cured. And they didn't understand how it cured him of AIDS. And then they started looking into it, and then looked at the person that donated the bone marrow the bone marrow, and then they were immune. And now there's a segment of the population of the world that they actually donate their time, that they have been injected, and their body just doesn't. It just pushes it away.
That's interesting,
and it's so weird. And they just never thought that was a thing that you could be immune to.
But that's just it. People who have any kind of like immune deficiency or have no immune system, like, it's pretty amazing, like, that you would think they would, get really sick with something, but then it defies all odds. So that's something I think that they're really looking into, is like stripping away, like, we've been vaccinated and we have all these things, and we get build up an immune system. Well, these people can't. It's like they're told they can't fight anything off, but yet here all of a sudden they should give them some hose water, whatever hose water. Hose water will help. That's good for the soul. But it definitely is interesting how that all kind of plays a part.
Well, does
like Wyatt has a pretty lower immune system than most people, and he's done well this whole time.
Except when he ate that jar of applesauce.
Kevin gave him applesauce that was expired.
Does applesauce really ever expire? I had some. I was fine. I also had a little bit.
Pretty sure Wyatt got diarrhea really bad from it.
He ate an entire jar.
Well, I think because he ate an entire jar, and there's so much fiber in that.
It's applesauce, man.
It's applesauce.
It's expired or unexpired. You eat enough applesauce.
I opened up
I drink a big glass of apple juice, and I'm on the toilet.
Well, that's the other thing, is that Wyatt's always had some issues, like, trying to maintain a balance, and I have found a pretty good routine with him. And here's Kevin. Here, you want some applesauce, which he loves. So I buy it in small packs, and he can only have it throughout. Kevin just let him unsupervised eat a fucking jar.
So I found a jar in the pantry, and then and I'm like, "Is this still good?" And she's like, "It's expired." I'm like, "Yeah, by like 6 months." I mean, there's a wiggle room there. So I just cracked the jar of warm applesauce, and I'm just like drinking it.
So Kevin goes,
and I'm like, "See, it's fine. Put it in the fridge," and then it's
because
gone.
You told me Wyatt won't eat that, and I said, "No, what I mean is Wyatt cannot eat. I cannot buy it in bulk for him. He will eat it."
Yeah, should not.
Going with expired dates. How expired is too expired?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or is it more on how it looks or smells?
If it tells me it's good until April 28th and it's April 29th, it's fucking expired. My brain cannot eat food.
There's a wiggle room that they're allowed.
I can't do it. I can.
There's a wiggle room.
Yeah, it was like I can't do it.
But it's like that with drugs, right? When you see an expiration date,
it's just the efficacy.
I know the efficacy is going to drop. It's not going to freaking kill you. And usually that efficacy is good for almost a full year after the expiration date. And then it starts like reducing, I think 5 or 10% a year, something very, very small. Food, I'm a little bit more hanky about, but it depends on the food. Now,
it's a can of soup.
Eggs and milk. I don't fuck around with that date.
No, I don't. No.
Milk doesn't last long enough for us.
That's interesting. You don't fuck around with that date, but you will fucking eat an expired can of fucking Chef Boyardee.
Well, because that's vacuum sealed. And,
that was all
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could understand that.
But yeah, eggs and milk.
I wouldn't
though.
eat it 3 years later.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what? Then when we go through the cabinets next time, we'll send all of our shit to Kevin.
Oh,
We
please
should
don't.
No,
because I
because-
really do have a
There's
lot.
that- there's
Jen buys shit, then
I
she
buy
forgets
stuff
that she
and I forget
has
it's
it,
in there.
and then she buys shit again, and then she
Yeah,
forgets
please
she
don't
has
send
it.
us any-
So I'll pull out like
It's
freaking,
ridiculous.
rice-a-roni. I'm like, are you fucking
Pastaroni.
planning on freaking
That's funny.
feeding
Yeah.
the army? No,
There's that guy-
I forgot I had it.
There's that guy on the YouTube that has his whole channel's dedicated, and he opens up, he finds like
Expired stuff.
World War I and II food, like canned foods, and
No.
and he opens it and eats
No.
some.
No.
Oh, some of it's just nasty.
Have you ever had bread in a can?
That's disgusting.
No, but
And
I've seen it.
Fucking
Okay,
people from
so,
Boston.
So listen, we get canned food donated to us, and we have to either throw it away, or if it's not expired, we'll let the employees have, like, we'll put it in the break room. So somebody donated that bread in a can, but it was definitely expired. I don't know by how long, but my dock guys are gross, and they will dare each other. They open the smell, the look, and just the texture of it. It looks like brown doo-doo, like
You ever
that's like can shaped. No, I wouldn't try.
You ever open
They
up
tried
and
it.
see like chicken in the can? Like put like a
Oh.
whole
Yeah.
chicken in a can.
Yeah, the turkey.
Oh.
yeah, it's fucking.
Oh, disgusting.
No.
Like
Oh.
gelatin.
So I am well. I think that's part of my thing about like canned stuff is like, because I've seen it for over the years. Like my dog, they will eat this stuff because they, they're like, oh, I'm hungry. Like this got donated. I'm like, that you don't know.
Yeah,
like
fuck
you don't
that.
know what you're doing. Like
You-
that stuff is so.
You know who's been
disgusting.
advertising a lot lately?
Oh.
Spam. Like
I saw
like
a
a
TikTok
ton of-
about
ton
that.
of-
and I'm like, I
yeah,
love
like
it.
that on TikTok, they're doing a ton of commercials trying to get the
People
new-
like spam.
people
People who's
trying to get the millennials be like that don't know what spam is.
no,
You know,
they know what it is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Like, there's a lot of people who actually eat spam. Like,
well, there's a lot because they sell 10 million cans a year.
I love spam. I like spam.
oh,
That's all Hawaiians eat. Spam.
Oh yeah,
can't
it's
do it.
huge in Hawaii.
cannot fucking
Huge.
do it. Can't do
I,
it.
you know what though?
I want to try it.
I don't fuck with expired foods for a couple reasons because I'm always afraid that I'm going to get. You always read those crazy articles, and it's like I can see myself, like you, Kevin, going, it's just applesauce 6 months, and it'll be like, South Carolina man dies from freaking rare bacteria
Yeah.
that
Yes,
forms
thank you.
when freaking like you
don't know if it's
applesauce and the
Cold
rusted
and
freaking
hot
lid
cold
and
hot and cold and hot.
some fucking crazy shit like that would happen on my end. Like they tell you not to eat dented food with dented cans.
Yeah, because it can mess
put
up the
botulism,
whole.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like I shit like that and Lord knows my mom probably bought enough fucking dented
Oh
cans
yeah,
shit.
Oh, there were
there's
stores when I was
stores.
growing up. Yeah.
Exactly. It was
stores,
a dent
yeah.
stores. I freaking Archie Bunker. He had one thing
Yeah.
he'd walk through as a joke with a hammer and fucking would.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get that, it can happen, but I'm like, man, knowing my luck, I'd be that dumbass that would fucking be like, this is still okay. And then it's not.
What about that lady last week that got bit by the snake drinking the snake wine? Did you hear about that? It's like a cobra.
What?
It's like a cobra or some kind of snake that they put in a glass jar and they fill it with alcohol and you let it ferment for like a year and it's snake wine.
It survived.
And she's like the third case to where because there's a little bit of air trapped at the top.
But it
And
doesn't die from not eating.
they go into some hibernation. Like she opened the
What?
jar and like poured it or something, and it bit her, and it was a poisonous snake.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Well,
You
that will
fucking-
learn. That will
that's-
learn you.
That's I'm not. You'll never read about me fucking
Yeah,
dying from snake wine bite.
I have a lot of time on my hands.
Apparently.
I read a
Fuck is-
lot.
Happening with that. Well, my
Yeah.
biggest issue is just food in general. Like Kevin is kind of like this too. Like he can't watch people preparing his food. Like he
yeah.
cannot. I don't mind that. I mind the people who are making the food. Like if they look a certain way, I can't eat it. Like instantly in my brain,
Yeah.
like I can't do potlucks at work if I don't make the food. If I'm making the food, I can eat it because I know what it is. But if
Yeah.
someone else brings something in, I'm like, hard pass.
We were at a party.
Like,
Your friend
pass.
Shane's
Oh,
birthday party
yeah.
was last week,
Yeah.
2 weekends ago, and they had like food and it was all inside. There was too many kids. It was open. And then I'm like, so as soon as we leave, I'm like, stop at Taco Bell. I'm starving. She's like, there's food inside. I'm like,
him the food. There was sandwiches that were covered.
Yeah.
No, he does.
I watched Mike taking out the hot dogs and just put them on the grill, not even using the tongs to turn them. And I'm like,
so Kevin, you don't like going to hibachi? Do they cook it for you?
I have gone to hibachi.
He won't with me.
Yeah, we went out with your parents once.
Oh, did you come?
Yeah,
you did come.
I've only been to hibachi twice, and it bothered me so badly.
I would love to.
I love
just
hibachi.
Record your expression during hibachi.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is like,
I was like, yeah, no. That's
how
okay.
people. All right, did this person buy this food fresh? Is this from a can? How is their house conditions? Like, I cannot eat food like from other people.
Someone sitting over the pot going, "Oh man, they're gonna love my chili."
I cannot do it.
I had my buddy Keith. Like, this is probably going back 15 years ago. You know, his wife had made homemade chili. He knows I like chili. Brought it in. I'm eating it, and then I found a roach. And that was the very last time I'd ever eaten somebody's food.
You found a roach?
I never mentioned a word to him. I threw it out.
Did he ask you if you liked the chili?
And I can't remember. He probably did.
Now, Kevin, was this a friend of yours, or was this someone that you worked with, or was this someone that you worked with that was like, "Hey, you see that guy over there? That guy's a big dick. Don't piss him off." And he's like, "My wife makes the best chili."
No, good friend of mine, but no. So I don't eat people's food. I don't like potlucks. I don't like.
Kev, you find roaches in Jennifer's food? Please let us know.
No,
tell me.
I will.
I'll call it out wherever I'm at. There's a roach in here.
That's not 100%
I would go
true.
batshit crazy if I found the roach in my food.
We have gone to like functions and stuff of friends of ours. We did that whole block thing with help me out, Brooke.
Brooke and Brian,
But their neighbors, we didn't know anything about them, and we still ate their.
No, that
food.
was all like fresh food, and it was all like that was a little different.
That was still a potluck.
No, it's not like a potluck when you got sketchy people you don't know. Like
but
when
we didn't know their neighbors.
Yeah, I knew all their neighbors. We didn't need anything from the Russian people. We didn't know.
That's true. We did not.
Yeah. We didn't know them. We didn't touch that fucking food.
They had like fish heads and shit from their country. Like it was, bringing foods from their cultures, right? And so
you would eat the poutine.
I would not eat the poutine. It smelled like ass. Canada,
really?
What is going on with your?
No, poutine's delicious.
It's delicious. But I wouldn't drink their drink. The whatever
the Bloody Mary with beer.
It's like clamato and
clamato juice.
Oh, clamato juice is disgusting.
My brother, my brother would drink that without it being in a fucking Bloody Mary.
And it wasn't. They don't drink it with a Bloody Mary. They mix it with beer.
Yeah.
So it's usually Budweiser and Clamato.
Yeah. I've seen that. It's disgusting.
They're fried. They had their poutine or whatever over fries, and it was disgusting. It smelled like feet. I was like,
it was good. Yeah. The only thing we didn't eat was the Russian food because it was all.
Well, it was all fish, like dried, salted. Crunchy fish, like the whole fish,
and some of it was moist fish, and it was just.
It did not, and I felt bad because they were like the nicest people, but I was like, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
I just cannot eat a skeleton of a fish. It was a fish.
It's
it was a whole
up.
fucking fish.
We did the Irish dish, and that was the most popular. Like everybody devoured it.
I did a stew
a fish looking at you.
With,
it was like a Guinness stew or something.
Stew that I made, and then I did I think I did like the Guinness cupcakes. Like it was a chocolate with Guinness.
Yeah, I think so.
Did the batter, and then I did a cream.
There's no fish looking at you in that thing. That's like there's a guy, the bagel shop I used to.
Bread pudding, right?
Yeah,
Amber did.
The bagel shop I used to go to when I was in Harrisburg, up the road from me. This guy owned it. Getting good friends with him. My buddy Scott and I used to go there, and he's Vietnamese. And Scott and I would meet there every morning, and he's like, "I want to take you guys to this great Vietnamese restaurant. It's all natural. This is real Vietnamese food." And I remember going past this place, in the past, because it was by the mall, and I knew why I never stopped in by looking at the outside.
Yeah.
So we show up and we go there, and I'm like, okay, it's this place. And then when I went inside, I realized that me being highly judgmental of the exterior appearance was dead fucking spot on what the interior looked like.
You were justified.
I was justified in that freaking judgment. And this was before people. This was before it was cool to bring dogs in, right?
Oh.
So there's a girl in there with her dog, and it was not like one of those cute little dogs. It was a fucking ugly looking mutt sitting there. And I was just like, I'm looking at this dish. I'm everything's in Vietnamese. It's purely freaking. I'm like, I really Trent. I don't know. Fucking. He goes, hey, I order something for you. Well, I'll get this. I go, okay, great. So Scott's sitting there. I'm sitting there, and they put a bowl in front of me, and it had a fish tail hanging out one end, and a fucking fish head hanging out the other, and a bowl of just juice and potatoes and other vegetables with this fish in there. And Scott looked at me, I looked at him, and he goes, oh, you gonna like that? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not eating this. You can take it home with the wife. And he's like, oh, come on, man. You'll like. I go, no, I guarantee you 100% I will not like this. Like, it smelled like freaking fish water. And it was just like, if I'm going to go to a Vietnamese restaurant, it's going to be one that's highly recommended. It's going to be on a nice strip mall.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's in English, like where you can see what the ingredients
I have no idea
are.
what the fuck they brought me. But the place looked like a house that was converted, and a house that they really didn't clean up after they converted it. And then this bowl with a tail on one end and a head on the other. And Scott's next to me, like laughing.
I thought you were going to say there was like an eyeball floating in there.
No, it was looking at me because the eye was a whole fish. And I'm just like, fuck, no, this is not.
Were you supposed to eat the fish too? And
I did not ask.
Listen,
I did not ask questions.
A lot of times they like a fermented type of fish too. Like I know in Alaska they'll do like a fermented fish too. I just can't.
Well, that's because that's all they have. That's all they have.
Saying, like that's
we have burgers and shit.
Okay, but that's just okay. Like I'm open to wanting to try different things from, but there's certain things I just can't.
Well, you can't. No, not
I
when
can't.
It's
I'm gonna throw up. So what's the point? There's no enjoyment. From it. Like I want to be able to be like, oh, okay, I tried this. This is good. Right.
I got over. I think I could have gotten over the look.
Yeah,
because my dad, when I was in school in Delaware, I lived kind of on the cusp of the hood, and I had shoulder surgery, and I was in overnight. My dad stayed at my house I was living in, and my two roommates were there, and they're two black guys, and they used to go to the smokehouse, which was a block down from us, which was dead. It was in the hood. And Billy was like, hey, Mr. Horny, we're going to get some sandwich. You want a fish sandwich or something? My dad goes, yeah, I'll come along. He goes, no. You can't go because you're white and you will get shot and killed. We'll go down. We'll get something for you and bring it back. And my dad was like, okay. And he said he brought him back a fish sandwich. And at the one end that was sticking out was the head. And the other end was the tail. It was deep fried. But my dad said it was the best fish sandwich he ever had.
Wow. I could.
I'm like, you're a better man than I am.
Ugh.
Because then I got to pick, especially fish. I'm weird. I love fish. Fish, but I don't want to have to navigate through bones.
Well, what about the soft shell crab where you just eat the whole thing?
Love it.
Oh,
yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, but you're eating the asshole,
I
the intestine. You're eating everything.
Kevin, I fuck up soft shell crab.
I could do that.
The key to
with Kevin on this.
The key to a soft shell crab.
Do it.
I'm going to tell you, I had this. I was at the beach, and my buddy who I worked for, who in the beach service, his father owned a soft shell crab hatchery too, and he used to provide it to the area. And we're sitting there eating a soft shell crab sandwich. He goes, Carrie, here's a secret to soft shell crabs. He goes, small is better. They're tastier. They're sweeter. You don't get all that inside shit and gunk. He said the problem is everybody wants bigger. So when you see the bigger soft shell crabs, you're going to get more gunk and gross shit. You can't eat the whole crab. He says smaller is better because that's why when they shed their shell and do all that shit, he goes, we get them small and young, and that's the best time to eat them. So if I was at Hyman Seafood in Charleston, and I ordered soft shell crabs, and they brought them, and they were big soft shell crabs, and I was like,
no.
I said, no, I don't want them. Send them back. And it's the same. It's always been my belief. It's the same when it comes to clams, when it comes to scallops,
Yeah,
when it comes
small.
Anything like that, a seafood like that, when they're small. Yeah. You used to get little neck clams too, and I loved it because they were in a bag. They were very small. The cherry stone, what do they call that? The smaller they are, the more tender they are, the sweeter they are. You get real big scallops. They're usually tough, chewy, and sandy.
Yeah,
you get the smaller ones. They melt in your mouth. They're perfect.
Okay, so Bullies road trip. Kerr and I are going to have some soft shell crabs together. Why Jen and Kevin throw up.
We'll go for a burger or something.
We'll go for a burger. Yeah.
That's an appetizer in a lot of sushi places. You can actually get a deep fried soft shell crab, and they cut it in quarters. And all I do is pick it up by the freaking little leg, dip it in the sauce, and a little lemon sauce.
I totally want.
I would like.
I really want to try it.
I mean, I would. I mean, it's been 20 years since I've had good clams. Until there used to be a good
sushi.
And there used to be a good place in Venice that had clams, and we used to go to years ago, and then that's why I don't even order clams anymore. They're all disgusting everywhere I go.
You got to get them small. When you get them big, then I'm not a real big mussel person, but we got mussels at a place in Greer that they're not very big. They're small, but the sauces they put them in are fucking
good.
Oh my god,
that makes a huge difference too. Sometimes
when you were done with the mussels. Then you can get them to freaking put, and actually we did this.
Yeah.
Put the sauce
in
a container, bring it home, and then we freaking made noodles and put it over the noodles and use it as sauce.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was. I mean, if you got a place that knows what they're doing, they're not always looking for big.
Yeah.
It's seafood.
I love seafood, but
I do too.
I love. I can't eat oysters anymore. As a kid,
oysters
up until I was probably like 15. Like oysters. I mean, we'd go someplace and order 10 dozen.
I can't.
It would just be as much as you could consume. And then I remember once, and I didn't eat them for years, and I don't know, in my 20s or whatever, maybe in my 30s, I tried one and almost threw up.
Yeah, I just can't do them now. I grew up eating them, and now as an adult, I'm like, something about the oysters that not clams I could still do. We always ate clams too growing up, but oysters for some reason,
I'll still eat oysters like Chicago style, where they'll put like a little bit of cheese on them, and then they broil them.
A little bit of breadcrumbs.
A little bit of breadcrumbs. And they're really, really good.
But you won't try calamari.
Nah, it's a squid. That's a sentient being. It's a sentient being. There is actually what is the country that just recognized?
Can you help me, everybody?
I'm waiting here with the explanation.
It was just like a month ago. Squid are now a protected species because they are sentient. Like they have the same rights as a person.
I'm laughing because the show Upload I'm watching, they were talking about that, and they said, "Will you eat a squid?" And the guy he wants to eat different animals, and he's like, "No, squids are smarter than a 6-year-old kid."
Yeah.
The intelligence. And they're like, well, I hope you don't eat kids under the age of 6. And he goes, it was a little joke, but
I mean, that's so different than people
octopus are highly intelligent,
delicious,
highly intelligent.
Some people believe a good calamari.
Some people believe that they are freaking we're here and are like aliens. And I mean,
they say it like potato chips.
They say it would take less than 1,000 years after humans were gone, octopuses would rule the world. That would be the intelligent. That would be the new.
Them and dolphins.
I'm sorry. I'm going to continue to eat calamari.
I love it. I'll keep fucking it up. I'll be like, damn, this is a highly intelligent animal that was not smart enough to get away.
Thank you. I was about to say that to Kevin's.
I've had some calamari there that's shit. Some of the best calamari I had was not breaded, and it was freaking cold. It was on like this, freaking melted in your mouth.
Oh, interesting.
But again, if you get the real big calamari, it's chewy.
No, I like where it's little, small.
I remember in the 5th grade, and we had one of the it was almost like a whatever, when you bring your parent gives a talk like what they do,
parent teacher day. Or
career day,
career day, and one of the kids, his father owned an Italian restaurant in town, so he came in, brought like a little setup, and then made different foods for everybody. But calamari, and I was the only one. I wouldn't eat it then. 5th grade, I as my first. I just watched it, and I didn't want to eat it then, and I've never wanted to eat it in my life.
It just seems so weird that you eat other things, but that's the one
it's
thing.
The legs. I
what
don't know.
What are you talking about? Like, you're eating a clam or an oyster. You eat crab. You've eaten lobster. There's legs there too. Shrimp.
Different.
I can do without lobster. I'll eat lobster, but it's not.
Lobster.
Lobster, crab. It's a pain in the ass to eat.
I love crab. I will take the pain in the ass for crab.
No.
You like crab.
I do love crab.
I like crab cakes better because they're they're easier to eat.
I love.
It doesn't come with a hammer.
I don't know, but I like that. I grew up that way. It's just. I mean, I don't know.
I'm a big fan of crab legs. I love
me too.
I love crab legs. Eating crabs, regular crabs, I love it.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of work, and
I do
get a little frustrated, and so but I still do it because I love it. And I love the flavor of it, and I love crab legs. There's nothing worse so when you freaking go to crack it and it's all pliable because it's really frozen and freaking old and shit. But I love calamari. I think calamari is delicious. I really do. Yeah. It's just freaking,
especially when it's cooked perfectly.
Yeah, especially when it's good calamari and it's cooked perfectly. I like it sauteed just a little bit. I think they try and cover some of the gross shit and old shit with breading. Breading and deep fry it. Mm-hmm. Covers all fuck ups.
They do the same thing. People like talk about alligator. Oh, I want to try alligator, and then they have alligator bites. And they're completely breaded. And I'm like, why are you?
I've had alligator just the gator. I've had frog legs, and that's not deep fried.
Gator's okay. I mean, especially fish. Grouper, you can't beat grouper.
I've also had.
Well, I mean, if you get like a really good shark steak, which is really good, but grouper is
really good. Grouper. But I've had a snapping turtle before.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah, we used to have snapper. My brother used to catch snapping turtles and sell them to the restaurant.
Yeah,
because they were fucking huge. And you get snapper stew, and you get a little bit of freaking sherry and put it in that snapper stew. So oh my gosh!
There's a lot of stuff that's very similar to chicken texture. Maybe not so much taste, but texture. So how do people even know that they're actually getting
just give me chicken. Just give me chicken.
Well,
tastes like chicken. I'll have the chicken.
That's the reason why the way Chinese food. That's why they freaking get cats. You just cook it up and it looks like pork.
We were just we were talking about like foods. I was just talking about the TikTok.
Not all Chinese food. Just
talking about the Chinese, and it was people that live in either England or China, Japan. They come here for a couple of years to work or whatever, then they go back home, and the things that they miss, and all the Chinese, it's always the younger Chinese people. They miss American Chinese food. Like, oh my God, Americans really know how to make the best Chinese food.
No, we do not.
And then in England, it was a couple of those girls ranch dressing. They can't get ranch. So like the one girl showed like she got back home and she smuggled a bunch of ranch.
How do they not have ranch dressing?
They don't have ranch dressing overseas.
What?
UK's weird. We found out with sending stuff to Des and getting stuff from Des. It's like, you don't use Ziploc bags, but they're illegal here. You can't use Ziploc bags.
Oh yeah, that started in South Africa.
Yeah. Why?
Bags, yeah.
Why are Ziploc bags not allowed?
But it's like different foods and shit like that.
They don't have purple
snacks.
Skittles. It's a different flavor.
Really?
Than purple. It's like some weird fruit, but they don't have just the grape Skittle.
Yeah, they're weird about certain foods and certain things. I mean,
I don't understand.
Even the cigar names can't have anything in it. Like the Drunken Chicken, they had to change their name. They had to change the Sweetgrass Gringo to just the Gringo.
Yeah,
but Des was like telling us this stuff, and then the big joke about England is it's all the food's bland. It's just, if it wasn't for them freaking conquering India, they wouldn't know what the fuck this is.
Spices were
curry is the best thing you get over there, but or their spicy mustard that they use for their bangers and mash. But a lot of shit they can't get over there.
Weird.
That's why they put vinegar on everything, because their food sucks.
Vinegar on a lot of things is actually really good, like fries
and vinegar.
Oh, so good.
The best.
So good.
I love vinegar on fries.
I do too.
I love vinegar on collard greens.
Yeah.
I love red wine vinegar on hoagies, on a
Oh yeah,
good
that's
Italian.
the best. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
That
do
bite
too.
of the red wine vinegar.
gotta have
So
that.
good.
I've never had collard greens.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make great
Really?
ones from
Really?
Yeah,
scratch.
I've never.
Oh,
With
do
I
a
wouldn't
ham
be- I wouldn't
hock
be-
in them.
I'm assuming
they're
it's like
delicious.
it's like spinach.
It
I'm
is.
assuming,
It takes
yeah.
a long time to cook down. I did it in a
Does it?
crock pot.
Yeah.
Usually some chicken stock, onions, and
You
it
do-
just
Do you
it just
do
slow-
ham or bacon or anything? In
well,
yours?
I usually will do either a turkey leg in it, a smoked turkey leg, or a ham hock,
Ham.
depending on what our meat's going to be to go with it. But it cooks down. Add a little bit of heat in it with some red pepper
You
flakes.
make it once a year for New Year's, and your collard greens are fucking
They're
some of the
freaking
best.
fantastic.
For
I
a
love
white
They
girl from
rival
Jersey,
any other
they're
southerner
fucking-
down here, and I'm
they
from
seriously
Jersey.
are. I mean,
They're
they're
good.
fucking.
I've looked at them
fantastic.
when we've traveled like in this out like, and I've never seen it. I mean, we don't go to
I've
like,
gotten it.
yeah, I mean, we don't go
You've
to like
never
those
tried
really
it.
those small mom and pops, but we've never.
Well, I mean,
They're
I've got it.
fantastic.
You go try it.
You
No,
put
you've
that
never gotten
vinegar
it.
with
Never.
the
I've
pepper-
always
Yeah.
wanted to try it. What collard greens?
It's good.
I got it when we
Very
went
healthy for
that
you.
one time when we were near Butch. We went to that little restaurant. I got hush puppies. You ate those, but you didn't eat the collard greens.
No, you didn't get
Hush
collard
puppies
greens.
are
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
collard. and
I
then-
never got them. It's
and then we
fine.
get the Texas Pete vinegar that has the freaking peppers, like the whole peppers in the
I love
vinegar,
those. Oh my god.
and you put that on it. It's
No, I just eat the
perfect.
peppers.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
put the vinegar on the collard greens, and
And then the next day, it's even better because it's been
Oh,
sitting in
it's-
the juices.
a day or two later is better. I would not recommend getting canned collard greens.
No, that's disgusting.
It's
No,
just very
that is-
Well,
salty.
it's like
and
canned
overbearing.
spinach is disgusting.
Right, but well,
Gotta do it.
collard greens is a little bit different than getting canned spinach. I
It
mean, but
is. It's
but I can
hard
tell
to
you-
explain.
Jennifer makes some of the best collard greens
Yeah.
I've had. I mean, I've
I
had
need to
collard
make them
greens
more often.
all around here. I mean, I've even going down into Charleston at what's her faces that closed
Martha
up.
Lou's.
Martha Lou's. They freaking fantastic.
Found a good
collard
recipe
greens.
for Cole Cannon. Potatoes and cabbage. That looked pretty good, but she doesn't like cabbage.
I don't.
I
I,
love
I do
cabbage.
like cabbage.
I love.
I don't like
stuffed
corned
cabbage.
beef and cabbage. That's
Okay.
the only thing I
I
don't
don't
like.
like corned beef and cabbage
Love
either.
corned beef and
I
cabbage.
don't
I don't like
like
corned beef.
I like cabbage.
I like
I just
pastrami.
don't like.
It's another
corned beef and
vinegar
cabbage at
freaking
all.
necessary food. Oh,
now
yeah.
some stuff depends on like the way the stuffed cabbage is. I've had it where it's not like.
I like it in
Yeah.
a red sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
So that's
stuffed
not bad,
That's
cabbage.
how
but
my
I-
grandmother would make it.
I do
No.
like cabbage. I just don't like corned beef.
Oh, I'll have to
and
try and make some
cabbage.
Cole
Oh, the
Cannon then.
halupki?
Stuffed cabbage. I
Well,
don't
yeah.
know, Hungarian
What's
stuffed
that? Cole
cabbage.
Cannon?
Halupki.
What
I
is
don't know.
that?
It's
That's what it's
it's like mashed potatoes with like cabbage in it.
What else is in it though?
I can't remember.
Okay,
Sounds
well,
like
you're gonna have to
what's
tell
the
me
filling
first.
of a pierogi.
I'm
yeah.
like,
It's almost
Is
what.
it?
Yeah,
Is
like
it? Okay, I
Onions,
can eat
onions
that.
and cabbage and shit
Onions,
like
yeah,
that.
onions.
Yeah.
I could eat that.
yeah. So yeah, it's probably the filling. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
we'll
stuffed
have to
cabbages
look
are
up
called
the recipe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And then the real way to make it is in the vinegar base, not the red sauce, is vinegar based.
I don't
Yeah.
know. My
And then
grandmother
there's-
always made it a red
And then there's
sauce.
halushki, which is basically, people will cheat and just get noodles, but it's actually like how you make your dumplings.
Yeah.
They'll do that, but fry it up with cabbage and onions.
So is it more like a
And
Polish,
some noodles.
like a Polish
Slovak.
pierogi dish? Okay.
Slavic, yeah, Slavic, Polish. It's all kind
yeah.
of same region
Yeah.
because the church that I grew up in was a Slavic based church.
Okay.
And that's where everything from the halushki, halupki, pierogi, all that good stuff. It's all freaking cooked up there. And
Yeah, my
all-
friend Magda, she's Polish. Her whole thing, it's her family. She even came from Poland, but her mom or her brother owned a Polish restaurant in Sarasota. So her mom would go in the morning and make all the pierogies for when they were out. They were out. She only made enough for the
Yeah.
day. And I had
Nothing
never
like a
had
good
like
homemade
real.
pierogi.
I've always had like the frozen ones.
I'm
that you
surprised
cook.
you even ate a pierogi. A lot of times they have mushrooms in them.
No, there was they probably had a dozen different.
I just like the
kinds.
classic
Yeah.
And,
potato.
but they were huge. They were like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
big, and oh my god,
When
they
we
were
went
so
to
good.
see my friend Dustin, we stayed with his mom, and she went and picked up from the lady down the road because they're Polish. Like Dustin's been to Poland, met his extended family there, but like they made fresh pierogies, and the sweet ones. That's like it's like a sweet cheese, that
don't
they
like those.
they do. Oh my god, it was so good. You didn't eat the ones with the mushrooms,
No.
but then there was the one like the potato, the onion. There was a
Yeah.
cheddar. There was a couple other kinds, but that sweet one I had never had. It's like a dessert.
They're like wonton because I've had them boiled.
Fucking
You can also
so
deep
good.
fry them too.
Oh,
I've had them deep fried.
yeah. We ended up, I think.
Yeah.
I
I've never had a
we
deep
fried
fried
them.
pierogi. I've never
Yeah.
where you could deep fry a pierogi.
Ah, so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. My dad would make them. My dad made homemade pierogies, homemade strombolis and stuff like that. But he always made different homemade pierogies, and
Yeah.
our church always made homemade pierogies. And I tell you what, man,
We have a church up here, and a big Ukrainian church. We have a big Ukrainian part of town, and they have like, and it was like a Saturday. I don't know if it's like the first Saturday of the month, whatever it is. But the cars are lined up. You don't even get out. You drive up. You tell them how many
Nice.
like the pierogies you want at
Where's
the church.
that at?
Right, probably about a half mile from Mary's house, right there on Biscayne.
Have you ever done it?
No. We've driven by, seen just lines.
That's awesome.
of the
Like,
people.
Well, you need to go and do it
Yeah.
one day. Get
And,
us some
just
pierogies.
the pierogies at the church.
oh, I would
Yeah.
love that.
I
we
love.
definitely-
I
Delicious.
do. I love all that
I'm
stuff.
in the mood
We
for
just-
pierogies.
I
now.
know.
I'm in the mood. Like I said, talking about frying the pierogies. Whenever we go to the Celtic Ray, we always get the Scotch eggs. We got to make.
The Scotch
we gotta learn
eggs
how to
are
make
good.
the
I don't want to
Scotch
learn
egg.
how to. That's like a
Ugh.
nice treat to go when we go to the Celtic Ray. Everything they do, I don't want to learn how to make any of that. I want it
Oh,
made for me.
oh,
I don't want to cook all of that. That's a
I
lot
would
of
love
work.
that.
oh, they're just so good.
Learn how
They
to make
are.
that, Jen.
You want me to make a Scotch egg for you?
Make
Oh
a
my
Scotch
god, they're
egg.
so
Oh
good.
yeah,
Well, next time,
make a
when you
dozen
guys-
Scotch
when you guys
eggs.
come this way, though, we do have to go to the Celtic Ray because
Oh, yeah.
that's
They
one of my
do.
most-
Like I said, I think it's been like since they did like because the COVID shut down for like 2 or so the year before COVID. I think they were ranked the number 2 fish and chips in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh.
by some famous like Irish magazine or
Well,
whatnot.
I mean,
And
the
I love a good
the-
fish and chips.
The owner, his son is Americanized, but the father's from
yeah,
Ireland.
yeah,
but
yeah. Patrick and
he'll get like a little drunk.
Oh,
he'll walk
my-
around. He'll go up to your table and tell you a dirty joke.
Oh
and
yeah,
he's like,
dude. He just
and you can't understand him.
he just
His
he's
thick
yeah.
accent. He's this little Irishman.
Patrick just gets so fucking hammered, and
Yeah.
like he'll just go up to a table, whatever, and just tell you like the raunchiest of jokes,
or
and
a
then he just
story, or a
moves-
touchstone
or just like just a good Irish story.
Yeah.
He just tells you a story, and then like you don't even react to it. He just moves on to the next table.
Yeah.
And,
But
yeah.
his accent's pretty thick, especially after he's been drinking. You're like, I don't know
I
what
don't
the fuck
know
he
a
said.
fucking word you're saying, man.
That's
So-
fucking hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, another friend of mine, and he died a few years ago. Another guy named Patrick, and he was, I mean, God, he didn't come over here to the States until he was probably 30, and he actually spoke Gaelic also, which is like a dying language.
Yeah.
Like nobody speaks Gaelic. He just sober, you couldn't understand a word. And it probably took a year because he used to go to the tattoo shop all the time, just being able to understand what he'd say. But then he'd start drinking, and it was just
You're
fucking,
like,
it was
forget
game
it.
off. It was, there's
Yeah, when
just
you start
no-
drinking like that, it goes off the rails.
yeah, because he'd mix in the English, the Irish,
And
the
then the
Gaelic, and and it was
It's like,
just
You're just like stand
Yeah.
there and be like,
yeah.
okay.
I remember when everybody was tattooing, so I would have to answer the phone for Butch and the guys, and then and this was back when I first started going, first met Patrick, anyways, and like, hey, this guy's asking for something, I don't know what he wants. Someone's like, it's probably Patrick. Just tell him I'll call him back.
I can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't. This guy talking. I don't
funny.
know.
Well,
Ooh. The magic envelope.
Oh my god. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Magic envelope number 1.
Oh,
And then this is my answer key. Magic envelope number 2.
so did you send him your answer key?
What are you talking about?
Did we send? Did you got the answer key for ours?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what's in the envelope.
Oh, I thought it was your. Okay, I didn't.
His
Even,
it, and then we got his. He sent us his
Yeah.
He didn't
envelope,
open
and we
it yet.
sent
I didn't
Yeah.
open yours yet, and I have my answer key too.
Yeah.
Just to, so
Just-
I could also follow along.
Yeah, and that's why
everyone would.
we photocopied ours.
I don't think I put mine in there.
What the fuck, Kevin? No, you did. You hit. Because I did the
Yeah.
envelope.
No,
Great.
big, I don't think we're going to use them because I think we're going to go around one by one.
Yeah.
Because
Why wouldn't we
because if you
open
pull
it?
out the answer key, then you'll see all 5. I think it'll be easy. If we like, hey, what we'll
That's
talk.
just what Kevin wants to do,
Yeah.
Kerr. So we're going to do what Kevin wants. Because
Well, I look at this
sheldon
way.
us to death and be an anal retentive motherfucker the whole time if we don't do it his way. So we will not open envelopes.
I think what we could do is this: as we go
God.
through, we each talk about number one.
Okay.
And then obviously you have your answer key, I have my answer key, and then you tell them which cigar it was.
Yeah.
So then you can open the answer key and have a reference point after the fact.
Yeah.
But then number two, we go through and talk about the cigar and the experience.
We don't open the envelopes until the very end.
Right. Yeah. I want you just to tell me.
But what's the point of opening the envelopes if you're already going to know what the cigar
because if you really liked one, then he has it.
Right. So it's a point of reference. So you could be like, oh shit, I remember that. Yeah, now you have your review, and then now you can say, oh gosh, yes, right. Number 3 I remember is really good. I can't remember what that was. Oh yeah, here it is. It's XYZ.
Gotcha. I don't care how we do it. I just am curious to, see what everything was rated.
It is. I'm curious too. It's gonna be interesting.
Curiosity kills the cat.
No, it doesn't.
So on that note,
fuck the cat.
On that note, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And remember, bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.